All right, welcome back. We are still in the transnational development of Byzantine to Gothic cathedral plans. Now moving into the Gothic section. We are now in around 1200 to 400 CE, still in the same region of the world, what we now consider Europe. As we know, the Christian Empire expected the world to end in 1000. It didn't. A series of incredible construction projects, mainly related to cathedrals, went into overdrive. We looked at the way that those showed up in the Romanesque architecture of seemingly Christianized Europe, which we know was strongly influenced by the architecture of Islamic mosques and the architecture of the Middle East. But how did we make the shift from the cathedral we see on the left to the cathedral we see on the right? What is this incredible thing? What caused this shift to happen? What kind of aesthetics were in play to bring this incredibly beautiful shift about? And why do we even think it's beautiful? First, let's just bask in the detail of this architecture. We've had a terrific presentation in class on this chapel, the Sainte-Chapelle, or the Saints' Chapel, located in Paris. But on the left, what we're seeing is the rose window of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, which features all of the Old Testament themes and captures some of the New Testament as well. As we discussed before, these stained glass marvels were a way of bringing the stories of the Bible, the stories of the Christian faith to a largely illiterate population. But more than that is going on. I mean, we've gone from those huge, stoic, massive, and what are often seen as masculine structures of the Romanesque, or at least sort of like stereotypical masculine, to what is considered, again, kind of a stereotypical feminine. Ornamented, decorated, no surface left uncovered. And while we want to always push back on those stereotypes in architecture as we do in our social life, there are things that are transformative in Gothic architecture. Things that we see here on the exterior of the towers of Notre Dame, for example. Take a few minutes and conduct your own visual analysis of the left image, the one that is a close-up of the southwestern tower of Notre Dame. Write out in detail what you're seeing and then email it to me. Go ahead and pause the video to do that. Once you've come back from your own visual analysis, let's talk this through a little bit. What we're seeing in the southwestern tower of Notre Dame is something we see again and again in this sort of high Gothic period. It's the desire to show height, to make cathedrals even taller than anyone imagined possible in the Romanesque era, and to give them an even greater appearance of height by making the elements they're built of as slim, as slender, as elongated as possible. So let's look, for example, within those lancet arches of the southwestern tower. We see a layering of tubular forms, at least what looks visibly like a layering of tubed forms. It's actually, of course, a larger solid stone that has been built or has been carved in such a way to make it look like a series of fine ropes have been gathered together to make the sides of that arch. What that does for the eye is give it a lightness, a nimbleness. The lancet arch with its point at the top, raises the eye up, all giving the appearance of height. Another thing that we see in Gothic architecture is ornamentation. If you look from the image on the left or on the right, very few spaces are unornamented. We have a series of human figures that line the top of that first story of the facade of the cathedral. On top of that, we have a rose window, and we have what's called tracery. Tracery is the stonework that goes in between the windowed spaces, in between the open spaces on a cathedral. There's action everywhere. And for the mind of a person coming out of the Romanesque period, again, this is an explosion of action on a surface. And we still appreciate that today. If you look at the image of Notre Dame, thousands, millions of people flock to see it and other cathedrals of this type just because of the spectacle that it is. Here's a detail of that western facade of Notre Dame. We see this incredible rose window and then the King's Galleries. Just take a minute to take in all those detailed spaces. And now here we are looking at a detail of the central portal of the western facade now at Strasbourg Cathedral. But what is not happening on this facade is a better question than what is happening. Here at the base, in that triangular but more lancet-shaped bas-relief at the very bottom center of the image, we have the story of the Passion of the Christ. We have a series of actions, a series of images taken from the stories of the Bible. Then around that central arch structure, we have what seem to be these kind of floating, almost elevator figures. Again, more stories, more morality plays are happening in these figures themselves. People have spent lifetimes, they've spent entire careers detailing just one facade like this. There's so much going on. And again, this was conceived for a largely illiterate population. Going in and going out, your eye might catch one figure and another that would speak to where you are that day, or would be a cautionary tale or one of mercy that you might take in as you walked through this central portal into the cathedral space itself. The same question comes up again. What is going on here? Go ahead and end this part of the video. I've got another YouTube with a little engineering information for you to give us some grounding on what's happening in the architecture and construction techniques that make all of this elaborate design possible.